Hello, and welcome to the webinar, Using TS Gold to Monitor Student Growth for Principals and Coaches. This mini webinar today will focus specifically on how to pull a growth data report in order to understand growth over time and make instructional decisions. Please refer to the webinar, Utilizing Gold Reports for Administrators and Coaches, to learn more about a variety of different reports you can pull to look at student achievement during a particular checkpoint period. As a reminder, this is our preschool goal directly aligned to our district preschool through 12th and major improvement strategies of monitoring and strengthening the instructional core through the strategy of unit and lesson internalization and enhancing a culture of data literacy, ensuring preschool educators have collaborative structures within weekly dedicated times for shared planning and data analysis for both academic and social-emotional learning will support professional growth and help to ensure that earliest learning experiences prevent gaps in the later years. In preschool, the purposeful play during centers is where learning and formative assessment opportunities happen the majority of the day. Teachers need to finalize ratings for all students in all areas of learning and development by each of the 3 data finalizing dates. Teachers must have completed their inter-rater reliability certification prior to finalizing levels for students. This certificate is good for 3 years. At first glance, it is often perceived that GOLD is a benchmark assessment. It is not intended to be a benchmark assessment. Rather, it is a formative assessment. Now that the second checkpoint has ended, you can look at the growth students have made from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year. The SmartTeach platform has a variety of different reports available to gain an accurate picture of student achievement as well as student growth in all domains of development. In the last webinar, we learned about how to pull and use a variety of different achievement reports, including snapshot and class profile. For this webinar today, we are going to talk about the growth report available in SmartTeach. To log into the SmartTeach platform, you will go to smartteach.com. Once there, you will need to enter your username and password. Typically, your username will be your first initial of your first name, last name, followed by JPS. For example, my username is awallenjps. When you first got an account with Gold, you should have received an email from My Teaching Strategies with a prompt to reset your password. If you are unsure of your password, you can select Reset Password, and an email will be sent to you with instructions to reset your password. If you still have issues logging in, please fill out a Jeffco help ticket. Once you log in order to get to the reports, you will go to the navigation bar on the left-hand side of your home screen. At the bottom, you will see the Reports tab. This is where all reports are housed. Any previous reports you have run will be available within the reports queue. From the Reports tab, you will then be able to access a variety of different reports. The Growth Report compares the growth of children's knowledge, skills, and abilities over the school year to the expected growth range of their peers. Key features include growth ranges that are specific to age and grade and developmental area. The ranges are based on normative samples of children, allowing you to compare students' progress to typical growth patterns. This report can also show data for individual students or groups of students. Here's an example of what the growth report looks like. We will now go into Gold and pull the growth report birth through 3rd grade. So here you will see I am logged into my SmartTeach account. I will then make sure I'm in Administrator View, and I'm going to go down here to the Reports tab. Once I'm in Reports tab, I am going to scroll down until I get to the growth birth through 3rd grade, and I'm going to click on that. From there, you'll have a variety of options to pick from on what you want to look at for data in your report. First is areas of development. You may choose to select all areas of development, or if you wanted to look at a certain developmental area, you can also pick that too. Next, sites, classes, and children. Here you'll be able to select if you want to look at your data overall as a school, or if you want to look at individual classes or individual children. You can select a variety of different demographics. And then you want to make sure that this widely held expectations box is checked as well. Next, you're going to go to the age or class, and you can either pick preschool 3 if you want to look at your 3-year-olds, or you can pick pre-K 4 if you want to look at your 4-year-old data. Next, you need to decide which checkpoint periods you want to compare your data from. For us, we're going to start with our fall 2024-2025 data. That's our starting place. And then we want to do our ending checkpoint of the winter 2024-2025 data. Notice if you put in a data window that does not have checkpoint periods yet, you will get an error. Next, you can choose if you want to view it as an HTML or if you want to view it in an Excel document. From here, you can click on the table, and it's going to pull up the growth summary report. The growth report will look like this. Let's take a few minutes to dive into this report a little further. At the top, you will see the growth summary report. This gives you a nice bird's eye view to be able to look at each area of development. You can see the number of children in the report, the number of children below the growth range, percentage of children below growth range, as well as the percentage of children meeting or above the growth range. As you keep going down the growth report, you can find more information for each of the different domains measured. First, you will see data for the first time period you measured, which for us was fall 2024-2025. You will see the number of children measured, as well as number and percentages of students at and exceeding the widely held expectation. You will then see the same information for the second checkpoint period, winter 2024-2025. Then you'll notice the dark gray shaded area. The data in this section breaks down the growth by area of development. First is the starting score. This is the children's raw scores from the starting fall checkpoint. Next is the ending score, which is the children's raw scores from the ending checkpoint. The average or actual amount of growth is the difference between a child's raw scores from the start to end of the checkpoint. The growth range is the number of points a child's record score is expected to change from the selecting starting checkpoint to the selected ending checkpoint period. The type of growth is the amount of growth in comparison to the top and bottom numbers of the growth range. If the number is within or above the growth range, it is meeting. If it is below the growth range, it would be listed as below. Lastly are the quartiles. The quartiles represent the average amount of growth in comparison to the growth range. The growth report can be utilized for a variety of different purposes. First, the report can be utilized on the individual level to see how individual students are progressing in different areas, identifying those that are exceeding expectation, meeting expectation, or needing additional support. The report can also be used to identify trends in growth across your classrooms to pinpoint any areas where students are generally strong or where you may need more focused instruction. The report can also be used to guide differentiated instruction. It can also be used to look for patterns across classrooms and adjust teaching and instructional strategies. The report can also be utilized to facilitate discussions in a PLC about student progress and instructional strategies and collaborate to develop plans for supporting students. Information for the report could be utilized to communicate with parents about their child's progress. The report can also be utilized over time to monitor program effectiveness and guide decision making. As you navigate pulling the growth report and have questions or want to go deeper into this report and how it can be utilized at your school, there are different supports in place. First is the Gold Support Portal. This portal is basically a Google for all things TS Gold related. You can search a question and help articles will pop up that are relevant to your question. You can also reach out to your Thriving School Team ECE representative to work with you to pull reports and utilize the data to make instructional decisions. Thank you for attending this training today. We hope you have a deeper understanding of the growth report in GOLD and how it can be utilized to make instructional decisions at your school.